Hi guys. Here, let me just show you.
What? You're in submarine?
Yeah. So cool.
And so what is here?
I don't know what that does, but let me try. That does nothing. But this does this. That. That's just controlling.
Feel what is inside.
You do it.
Stick.
You do it first.
I know you.
No. No, no, I'm not doing that. No, I heard that sound, I'm scared. I heard that sound, I'm scared. What did it do to you?
I'm not gonna tell you.
Just tell me. Tell me. Tell me. I don't know.
That's a boat, I believe. No? Ah, it's a dam. Look, and a boat will come down.
Let me get all the books now.
Maybe you're not allowed to do it. Ah, anak, look, they will go down, put the boat there on that thing. No, there, you put them there. And then you turn around there. That's it. You don't put nothing. And then you turn the wheel there. No, the other one. There. More.
I want to go.
The Great Locks. We call it the Great Locks, guys. From the lake to the ocean. The Atlantic Ocean.
Look at the
What's
nose.
your rationale?
Oh, look at the nose, teapot. Where is soil?
That is real blue. Amazing. And that's us.
While they're being fed, I'm gonna talk a little bit about the rays and everything else kind of going on in this habitat here. So if you do have any questions, I'm just gonna ask you hold them all to the end, and I'm gonna be hanging around to answer them. So right before we get started, I do just want to give one last reminder that please make sure the flash is turned off on your cameras or phones at all times, as the animals here in this habitat don't have any eyelids, so they don't have any way to protect themselves. All right, so here comes our diver now. Be sure to give her a really big wave as she is able to see you just as well as you can see her. And right as we are getting started here, I do have a quick question for you. So if you could show me on your fingers how many different species of ray we have here at Ray Bay. So how many different kinds of stingrays? No guesses? I see a 4, okay. Very, very close. So we do have 4 species of stingray, but we have 5 species of ray in total. So it is a little bit of a tricky question I gave you there. And here's our diver big waves. Yeah, so we have 5 species of stingrays here at Ray Bay. Now the 2 that are going to be fed today are our southern and rough-tailed stingrays. So the southern stingrays are the ones along the bottom here with me. They kind of look like these big round pancakes, kind of brown in color. Now the rough-tailed rays do look quite similar, but there are a few key differences that can help us tell them apart. So the rough-tailed rays are a little bit larger. They are the largest species we have here at Ray Bay. They are a little bit darker in color. Now their biggest difference is where they get their name, and they've got these little spines running down their tail, giving them the name of rough-tailed stingray. So at the moment, our 2 rough-tails are kind of hanging out in the back. Oh, but there you see one there with kind of the shortened tail right in the back of the habitat. And his name is actually Mad Max. So he is the largest ray we have here at Ray Bay, weighing over 260 pounds. So he is a pretty big guy. Now our other rough-tailed ray is named Super Ray, and he gets his name because he likes to kind of jump up at the surface, kind of look a little bit like a superhero, and does tend to startle people a little bit. Alright, now the other species you have probably noticed are these little guys right here, and we call these our cow-nosed stingrays. So a lot of people do mistake them for baby rays, which is understandable as they are quite small, but all the rays here are actually fully grown. So this is just as big as this species get, and they get their name from those 2 little lobes at the front of their face. Now a lot of them do kind of look a little bit like a cow's nose. But if we actually were to look at them, they are in fact not a nose, but these specialized fins that will drop down to help them sift through the sand to find their food. So if you look here along the bottom, you will see some of those fins kind of dropping down. Alright, now the 4th species of ray here at Ray Bay is usually the hardest one to find, but I do actually see one just starting to head over the top at the back rock there. If you kind of look along that wall, you might see them kind of dip down. And these are our spotted eagle rays. Now the reason they are so hard to find right now is that they are actually being fed towards the top of this habitat right now. And the reason for that is that they are the smartest rays we have here at Ray Bay. So they have this big diamond shape and these white spots along their back. They've got this really big thing on the front of their face that looks a lot like a nose, but it's actually something we call a rostrum. So it uses this rostrum to dig through the sand, sort of like a shovel, and is able to find its food therein. Now they are fed at the top, as I mentioned, because they are so smart. So instead of having them down here where they might be able to steal food from our other rays, we just keep them distracted up there with someone in the water. We'll actually walk around with a piece of colorful tube, and the rays will touch that rostrum to that tube in order to get their food. So it is a little bit of an enrichment activity for them. It's a little bit of a puzzle, just so that their minds are kept engaged, and we're making sure that everyone else is getting fed. Alright, now the 5th species of ray here in this habitat is actually not a stingray. It is something we call a mobula ray. So these are our lesser devil rays, and you can see them kind of just at the top here, kind of in the middle of the habitat, and they've got those 2 little horns at the front of their heads. So these guys are black on top and white underneath, and they have those 2 horns, which are actually specialized fins called cephalic fins, and they will drop down to help funnel food into their mouth. So these rays, like I said, are not a stingray, and they're actually filter feeders. So they're similar to our manta rays, they're closely related, but as you can see, they are much smaller than manta rays. And these guys will filter through the water to get krill and all that good stuff. And they actually don't have a way to sting, so that is why they're not considered a stingray. Alrighty, so now that we've all kind of had a chance to watch some of our rays eat as they come up along the wall here, so we have one more quick question. So this one is a multiple choice. Just raise your hand when you think I have said the correct answer. So stingrays have really sharp teeth. Raise your hand if you think they have really sharp teeth. No takers? Okay. Raise your hand if you think they have really flat teeth. Oh yeah, a few more. Okay, now raise your hand if you think they don't have any teeth at all. Yeah, you are. So it is a tricky question. They are pretty hard to see, but stingrays do have teeth. They are just really, really flat. So they form something together we call a dental plate, and they're very flat, kind of rounded teeth that are not very sharp, so they're not good at tearing through food, but they are very good at crushing things. So here at Ripley's, we actually feed them a variety of squid, capelin, herring, mackerel, and clams. So those clam shells, which are really tough, are made quick work of by those really flat, strong teeth that the stingrays have. So even if our diver is not too worried about being bitten as she feeds our rays here, has anybody ever worried about our diver being stung? I mean, they are called a stingray after all, so it's a reasonable question. So the short answer is no. There's really two main reasons for this. The first is that stingrays really do not want to have to sting. So they sting using something called their barb, which is located at the base of the body, at the start of the tail, but can be a little bit further down the tail, just depending on the species. Some species, like our spotted eagle rays, can actually have multiple barbs. So it just really depends. But on these little cownoses, it's sort of just at the base of their body. You can see this little nub, and that's where the barb would be. Now, in the wild, they only use this as a form of self-defense against their predators, things like sharks and orca. And what it does is it will essentially cause pain for the animal and not want them to, it will kind of stun them, shock them a little bit. It's not electric, and it does have a slight toxin. It's not venomous like a lot of people think. It's more of like a bee sting. So the venom really just makes it a little bit more painful for that animal to make sure the animal doesn't want to eat the ray anymore. However, once they use that barb, it can take several months for that barb to grow back. So in that time, the rays can have no way to defend itself. So they really do not want to have to use it. In fact, when most people are stung in the wild, it's an accidental sting or this person has accidentally stepped on the ray. So stingrays do like to bury themselves in nice, warm, sandy bottoms where people also like to go swimming. So the best way to avoid this is to do something we call the stingray shuffle, where you put both feet on the ground, kind of shuffle your feet or drag your toes along the bottom, just to let any stingrays in the area know you are there, so that they can swim away before you even know they are there. Now here at Ripley's, just as an extra precaution, we actually do file down the barbs on our stingrays. This is a little bit like filing your fingernail. There are no nerve endings in the barb. And this just helps make sure that our animals, staff, and guests are safe when they are interacting with our rays. Alright, so one other thing you might have noticed about these rays is that their eyes are right here on the sides or the tops of their heads, while their mouths are actually on